when you talk about inflation running at, say, 6%.
The cost of building a house is going through the roof.
Another building company has collapsed.
We saw quite sharp increases in the price of steel and timber.
Rawlinsons released its last quarterly construction update, and I'm here to help unpack it. Despite some positive signs, there are still cost pressures in the industry which will continue to drive costs up. And the general view from the States is that costs will continue to increase across 2023, but won't be at a place where we've seen in the last 3 years. Before I continue, make sure you like and subscribe if you like to keep up with the latest construction data and trends in the property industry. The overarching takeaway is that building costs aren't expected to drop or return to the norm soon. You can see from the report that there has been an increase in costs in all the states and territories, with nothing below 5%, with Brisbane and Perth experienced the highest increase this quarter. In terms of what you can expect on a state-by-state level, the report has also broken down Q1 and Q2 price fluctuations of different materials. Here you can see the different price increase from materials across the state. For example, the cost of labour is significantly increased in Sydney and Perth. The cost of concrete seems to have increased significantly in Perth, Darwin and Brisbane. But the cost of timber seems to be stabilising and even decreasing in some cities like Hobart, Canberra and Adelaide. So what does all this mean for you? If you are a contractor or a builder in Sydney or Perth, the significant rise in labour might mean re-evaluating your project bids and contracts. For example, if you have a project estimating a $1 million last year, the increase in labour costs could potentially add an extra $50,000 to $70,000 to your expenses, depending on the size and nature of the project. For developers and investors, the surge in concrete prices in Perth, Darwin and Brisbane might impact the feasibility of large-scale projects. For example, a high-rise development in Brisbane that heavily relies on concrete might now cost several $1 million more than initially budgeted. It is essential to revert to your financial models and perhaps consider alternative building materials or methods. For homeowners and small-scale builders, if you're in Hobart, Canberra or Adelaide, you can consider a timber-based construction or a renovation now might be a good time. With timber prices stabilising or even decreasing, you could potentially save on costs. For instance, a timber deck addition that might have cost you $20,000 last year could now be around $18,000, giving you some more savings. For those contemplating building, if you are considering embarking on the construction journey, whether it's your dream home or a small commercial space, these trends are particularly pertinent. The upward cost trajectory across various materials and regions means that the initial budget might need some adjustments. For instance, if you are planning to build a concrete-centric design in Brisbane, the recent surge in concrete prices might necessitate a larger budget or a rethink in design elements. On the flip side, if your design is timber heavy and you're based in areas like Hobart or Adelaide, you might find yourself in a favourable position and a potential cost saving. It is critical to engage with knowledgeable contractors and architects who are up to date with these trends. They can provide various insight such as cost-efficient alternatives and help optimise your building plans in line with the current market dynamics. In terms of what you can expect from Q3, given the current trends, we might see a continuation of rising costs in certain materials, especially if supply chain disruptions persist or demand surges in specific regions. But with timber prices showing signs of stabilisation, there's hope that other materials might follow suit and supply chain adjusts and improves. For cities like Brisbane and Perth, which have experienced the highest increase this quarter, a plateau or even a slight dip in escalation rates might be on the horizon, as market often self-corrects after a sharp spike. It's also worth keeping an eye on government policies, infrastructure investments, and global economic factors, as they can significantly influence local construction costs. In essence, while the construction landscape is evolving, with rising costs being attuned to these specific trends and regional differences, equips you with the knowledge to strategize effectively. So stay tuned for our next update.